100 days ago, I started with a challenge to peak.
1 month in, I was blown away at the progress from my brother and I.
I am stoked about a 12.46.
My physiology didn't change much, but I was significantly better in every event. Except for bench, where AI had me lift chest 3 times in the first week.
I'm gonna tap out.
This time, I wanted to do things a little differently. I spoke with a few experts.
You're no stronger than grandma when you're off the ground.
Got a workout plan.
Nice.
I'm getting better every second.
And snagged the right gear.
Salmon run, baby, let's go.
I am going to PR in all 4 events. I am going to peak athletically in 100 days.
Me versus me. And my brother.
Mike doesn't know what's about to hit him.
That guy sucks. Let's go.
Okay, quick recap of where my brother and I started. The first time I ran the 100 meter, I ran a 14.39. In the mile, I ran a 7:55, at a 27.5 inch standing vertical, and I threw up 185 5 times. For comparison, here's my brother who kind of worked me a little bit. In 1 month's time, I significantly improved in every event except for bench, where I hurt myself and had to do some active recovery for a few months. I knocked nearly 2 seconds off my 100 meter time and shaved about 1.5 minutes off my mile time. My vertical also improved by 2.5 inches, although my physiology really didn't change much. My DEXA scan showed that my fat and muscle mass was about the same. Outside of the 100 meter, part of the challenge was using only 1 pair of shoes and AI for my plan. I know AI would deliver a subpar strategy, but I wanted to see how much better I could get without any barrier to entry. No trainer, no online plan.
You're right there, come on, go!
Something that anyone can do. This time, we switched it up. I know I need a new workout plan, but there's a big problem that's bothering me, especially on runs. These guys. I only had 1 pair of old workout shoes in my closet, and they were killing my feet in a lot of these events. So I wanted to gear up.
I think we're about the same.
Yeah, just like a little bit smaller.
Oh!
You know what they say about big feet? Big.
You guys got a run club. Now, are you chatting and running while you're doing this? Is that like...
I think it's a conspiracy, the whole zone 2 casual conversation running. I'm like, man, I can't have a casual conversation.
I'm in zone 3 the whole time.
Exactly.
That's why I'm trying to figure out what running clubs are. Like, what do you do?
Maybe it's denial or distraction.
Or just like meeting your future wife. Our dad would literally like make us run down the aisle.
We do that and then go on East Bay and find the cheapest shoe available.
Dude, East Bay. Shout out East Bay. Maybe a future sponsor if they're still alive. I think East Bay might be gone.
I haven't seen anything from East Bay recently.
We get the year-old basketball shoes or football shoes every time.
Oh yeah.
They always half off.
With the forest green color that nobody wanted to buy.
It's always some terrible color.
Brooks Running hooked up the shoes and was kind enough to give us a behind-the-scenes look into their lab.
This machine behind you looks like a torture chamber of sorts. This was not a good shoe.
And cutting-edge shoe science.
The spikes you guys tried on are really only designed to ever turn left.
So it's the opposite of Zoolander.
No, he couldn't turn left.
He could not turn left.
He had to do
he couldn't
3
turn
rights.
left, right?
Yeah, he couldn't turn left.
So that's what I'm saying. It's the opposite because the shoes make you go left. Do you guys watch Zoolander in preparation of like how to design these shoes?
That's our main source of
So what makes a super shoe super? Is it just the stack height?
As the tall stack of soft foam compresses, you get that energy back when you're pushing off of the ground. If you think of a spring, you store energy in a spring by compressing it, and then when the spring recoils, that energy is returned. And so our goal is to like return as much of that energy to the runner as possible.
And is there limits performance-wise?
So World Athletics set the limit for stack height.
The ban Brian speaks of was a momentous ruling in the running world. No shoe can have a midsole thickness above 40 millimeters. 40, of course, even though I'll be running and training in these, I won't be competing in them. For that, we have our spikes.
Alrighty, so today we're gonna work on our starts, get some video. A little bit hotter today. It's actually hot in Seattle. That's good for sprinting, but haven't got out of the blocks since high school, so we're gonna feel it out today.
The first thing you can't avoid about these is the title. Spikes. But these are far more than just flashy weapons. These are actually a gateway to understanding both the human body and physics.
We know there is a short list of things that we can target to make someone faster.
That's Dr. Lance Brooks, no affiliation with Brooks Running. He is a leading expert in biomechanics and physiology and has worked extensively with Olympians and elite athletes.
End of the day, the thing that's going to determine how fast you run is the force you apply to the ground with relation to your body mass.
This is Newton's second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. Sprint spikes, especially a shorter distance sprint spike, have a stiff, rigid plate designed to strike the ground and generate a lot of force. You also notice that these weapons don't have much of a heel. Well, how do we sprint? We tend to do that further forward on our foot, at least ideally. And if we look at the middle distance sprint spike, a little bit more cushion, a little bit more flexibility. So how should you run for a mile? Should you be further forward on your foot or maybe closer to a heel strike?
As you're running faster, you're naturally going to be more on your forefoot, but there's elite milers who do have a heel strike.
We all run differently, and we all have different physiology. So I asked Dr. Brooks to give me some guidance on perhaps the most crucial part of a sprint, the start.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of the block start?
Well, it felt funny. I felt like really cramped.
Your head is a little high. Your eyes should be directed really directly below, like kind of like between your hands. And then when you push off the blocks, you want your line of sight to very gradually move upward with you.
The elites are, of course, elite at this. Gatlin, who I had a chance to speak with, looked a little different out of the blocks.
And then it's clear that the balance demand is very present because your foot comes down almost immediately. You see how you kind of arched over and there's kind of separation with your thigh and torso.
Yeah.
You definitely want, at this point when you're leaving the block, you want that to be a straight line and you want your head to be up here.
A lot of this is neural, training the brain and learning something new, but a lot is also functional.
Move your back block backwards just a little bit. That would actually correct some of the issues that I'm describing.
It's time to get to work. I felt like I didn't get my head up until about 25, 30 meters down the track. I was just really trying to focus on that form. 1/10 of a second faster than the previous time, so feels like progress. I got a little bit more comfortable with the blocks in each successive start.
The momentum of your body is directly equal to the impulse that you apply to the ground. An impulse is just force times the time that you're applying the force. And so we know that that is the single variable that's going to determine your performance. But how do we get there? There's many different ways.
We're all physiologically similar, but different in certain ways. For example, some people are longer, and because of that, they have longer legs and can cover more distance per stride. However, they typically can't accelerate like a shorter person can. 5'9". In most races, Coleman would get cockpit. Visually, this gives the impression that Coleman has a lower top speed than Gatlin or Bolt. And that may have been true on some days, but it isn't the primary reason these two are catching him. Take a look at these splits. Now, I'm not sure why Christian Coleman's are rounded here. Coleman not only beats Bolt here through the first 60 meters, he hits a higher top speed, 0.80 versus Bolt's top speed of 0.81. That means that Coleman ran the fastest time ever than the fastest man ever, and the fastest time the fastest man ever ran, which means, well, Coleman might be the fastest man ever. Upon further review here, it looks like Coleman's times might have been rounded. So maybe somebody from the Diamond League can reach out to me as to why his times were rounded, but none of the other racers were. Justin Gatlin also let me know that his fastest 10-meter split ever was 0.81, which would have tied Bolt for the fastest 10-meter split ever. Nonetheless, the point still stands. Coleman's speed declines more than Bolt's. That is confusing, but that's because motion is misleading. To understand this further, we need to explore an action craved by athletes: acceleration. As the gun goes off, an athlete has an incentive to stay on the ground because you can't generate force while you're in the air. Each additional step helps you increase velocity. Thus, shorter people have an advantage because they take more steps. As we move to our top velocity, it becomes more of an aerial approach. Ideally, an athlete is spending less time on the ground without sacrificing too much force. The difference in steps might not seem like that much, but that means more air time and slightly less fatigue. So what height is ideal for sprinting? Well, it depends on the demand. If you look at the 60 meters, the top 4 times ever were all under 5'10". And the 200 meters and 400 meters, significantly taller. So that's why sprinting is simple. Just run as fast as you can. Just accelerate as fast as you can. Not quite. This is why sprinting is actually a little paradoxical, because a sprinter is still trying to strike the ground with, a lot of force. And if they simply turn up the turnover and accelerate as fast as they can, which seems like the goal, the question becomes, at what cost? An athlete that just accelerates as fast as possible, it's kind of like a boxer who just tries to jab as quickly as they can. And, well, there just might not be that much force. Catch me outside. And this is something I've always struggled with. I think it's maybe my basketball background, a lot of quick movements, but I always seem to struggle in the last 50 meters of a race. I would get passed by more powerful. I thought it was maybe them just having another gear. I need to build this out more. I need to rewire the brain. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, Upside, who's helping out. Although I've been filling up on carbs, my car needs to fill up on gas. Since I blew all my money on a sick-ass car, Upside really helps. With the free Upside app, there's an easy way to earn cash back every time you fill up your tank, grab a bite to eat, or stock up on the essentials. I earn about $10 back every time I fill up. This is a free app, and you can use it at Chevron, 7-Eleven, Shell. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app. It's that easy to start earning cash back. No confusing rewards, points, or credits. Just money you can transfer right back to your bank account. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code McKelvey to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Thank you again to Upside for the sponsor. Knowing I would need a new workout plan, I reached out to Seth Hensen, a track coach for one of the nation's most historic programs, the University of Oregon.
What are we doing here?
We're measuring your trochanter length.
The trochanter?
Yes.
That's not an instrument.
No, we're teaching proper acceleration patterning. You know, we'll have two types of warm-ups that we try to do. One we call an accelerating or escalating warm-up, where we're trying to get the nervous system slowly up to speed, and we use that on a day like today. Yeah, we're gonna start with some hurdle hops here.
Hurdle hops, it's been a minute.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep nice and low.
You don't think I got that bounce, baby?
We're trying to teach you to optimize ground contact and to be as fast as possible. So the higher the barrier, the more time you have to spend on the ground to get it. And that's not what we're trying to do in sprinting.
Okay.
You can, in sprinting, turn up your frequency really, really, really high, like as fast as the world record, but you're not gonna be covering any distance, okay? And so there's stride length, stride frequency. This is gonna play a little bit more towards the stride frequency portion. And this is probably the limiting factor.
Interesting.
In sprinting, is how much force you can apply to the ground in the shortest amount of time. Good. And here's where part of the theory comes into play, right? Most people go back and go immediate. We want to make sure that you have proper recovery to keep your power levels as high as possible. And it seems like a long time. And people, when they do this style of workout, they rarely leave feeling super tired, because you're going to get 3 minutes break.
This recovery was strange to me. For most of my life, I've always viewed training as a direct relationship between suffering and growth. You want to be a better shooter? Get 1,000 shots up. You want to be in better shape? Run more suicides. You want to get faster? Go run more sprints.
And just really focus on the pushing, okay? So we like to say cut the ankle, okay? And then get it back underneath you. You're no stronger than grandma when you're off the ground. So you got to get back on the ground to push.
But what seems to be standing out after speaking with Seth and Lance, you need more of a recovery than you think with sprinting and these types of jumping plyometric drills. At least if your goal is maximum gains rather than just conditioning. My bounce could definitely use some help, and Seth mentioned this is one of the best ways to do that.
Biggest mistakes they make when they first come back.
Too much too soon, and you know, we're all subject to this, is the ego. It feels so far away from what you had done in the past, it's a little demoralizing, and just understanding that it takes time and just taking small, safe steps. I like to say training's like moving dirt. Sometimes you get to use a shovel and sometimes you have to use a spoon. Just keep moving it out to that first cone.
And then going like this.
Yeah, and then I want you to think full foot contacts.
Okay.
Longer on the ground, longer in the air. Try to cover distance. Push, push, push. Nice. Fantastic.
That felt way better.
Yeah, best one.
I should note that Seth and I couldn't link up until about 70 days in. Before this, I was just operating off of a slightly tweaked workout plan that I did in the first 30 days. Since he only had about a month to program before my tests, take this workout plan with a grain of salt. It's not gospel, but it's what he recommended to me. For instance, we decided the long runs would only benefit one aspect of my mile, so we decided to cut that to just interval work, which would help maybe both my 100 meter and my mile, whereas the long distance runs probably aren't helping my sprint at all.
117. Moving better.
This was a different approach for working out for me, so I am excited. It's time to test that bounce.
Test day, baby. We got our vertical test, and we got bench after this. Feeling bouncy, gotta get a little warm here. We got 32 for a standing vert. Here we go.
Missed it. Oh. Sean at 33.
That was easy. We need a full 3-minute recovery here.
Trying for 32 again. First attempt for Sean.
Easy. I'm getting shown up again. This is not good. That was 34 and a half. That's PR. 35 years old. You still suck, but that's PR. You know what I think it is? I think it's this mic. This thing probably weighs about 15 pounds, so I'm gonna take this off.
I'm gonna mix it up a little bit and see if I can get in a rhythm. Let's move it up to 36 inches for the vertical max. Sean for a lifetime PR.
I knew right away too, and I knew right away too, but I wanted you to feel it.
Let's go higher. One more attempt at a lifetime PR. He is a 40-plus jumper.
Final freaking attempt. All right, we're wrapping it up.
Not the increase I was looking for, but I still got better. By the measure of relative performance percentage, I'm at about 91% of my peak in the vertical and 95% in the max vert. I improved by 4 inches on my max vert and 3.5 inches over 100 days. I know I'm supposed to hate my brother, but I can't help but be happy for him here. For reference, in the NBA Combine, he would have finished second for the standing vert and third in the max vert. Absolutely incredible. He's a 35-year-old dad, and he's got a legitimate chance to PR again.
All right, 275. Many times as I can. Mike's let me know.
This would be a PR for Sean.
No.
225 pounds. If I get this twice, it's a new PR.
There you go. Come on, you got one more. I'm getting that on the right day.
So freaking close, but a lot of improvement. If we say that I could have got 230, which I'm gonna do, let me have it, that means I'm at 98% of my relative performance percentage. Time to head to the track. Race day, baby.
Got this freaking bucket hat loser. About to get dusted in middle school. He hasn't seen this speed yet. It's been 70 days since we last ran together. Studied all the elite sprinters. More than half were wearing a gold chain. Do you have a chain? I do not. He's done for. Oh my God. He's a javelin thrower. He's not a sprinter though. Got this out the back of the closet. Javelin jumps guy is not a sprint, so.
It's time. Out the gates, I had a great start. Neck and neck. But Sean pulled away. The laser timer read 11.92.
No way. Oh, that feels good though. Damn. Mike, how did the Vikings look on my back? You think I was within 2/10? Yeah, you had me. I thought you were gonna get me halfway down the track, and then I lost at the last 50 meters. Just didn't run my race, man.
While my brother tied his PR, we'll have to check the time and cameras later for myself. I have to move on. It's time for the mile. Let's get it. I wanted to make sure I got a good jump. I finished my first lap in 1:19, well on pace. I need to run under 5:58 if this is going to be a PR. I slowed considerably in my second lap, but still on pace. This is always where the race gets challenging. The end is not in sight, but you are definitely feeling the fatigue. At the end of my third lap, I was moving in the wrong direction. My lungs were on fire, but I needed to PR if I wanted to peak. Coming down the stretch, my unathletic brother was nowhere in sight.
Let's go! Let's go!
Scott, I'm gonna need you to carry me to the car. Honestly, there was a point in the second lap where I was worried you were gonna lap me. Not gonna lie.
Was the point in the second and third lap where I was thinking about quitting.
With the new PR, I exceeded my relative performance percentage in the mile. Now the question is, what was my time in the 100 meter? So reviewing the footage from earlier today, I have to show you guys this. I can't believe this. Okay, first off, we'll do a quick date check here just so everybody knows. Wednesday, August 27th. You should be able to see that. Wednesday, August 27th. It's been about 100 days. Okay, now I'm gonna move this up and we're gonna look at this frame by frame. Unfortunately, this camera was not set to the proper frame rate of the finish line, so we're working on 30 frames per second. My brother finished at 11.92. It looks like he's slightly past here. We're gonna go frame by frame. If it's 7 frames, that means I did not PR. If it's 6, I did PR. My brother is slightly past here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've passed here on 7. I have not passed on 6. Passed on 7, have not passed on 6. 7, 6. That is so freaking close. Yeah, I'm not sure how I want to call that. So if we divide a second, so we'll just take 1 and we'll divide it by 30 frames, that is 0.033. We take that, we multiply that by 7, that is 0.233. Michael did not PR. If we take that number, 0.033333, times 6, Michael PR'd. Again, my brother kind of if we look at this, we go back again up here, he's already crossed here. I hate calling this a tie because I know I would beat up my former self. He was weak. He was 165 pounds. I would beat him up if he said that was a tie. But this kind of feels too close to call. I don't know. What do you guys think?
All right. Oh, we just finished about 5-10 minutes ago. I haven't been this tired in a long time, but importantly, I have never run that fast. It's a good feeling. Obviously makes it way better. Just absolutely dusting my brother. You matched your PR in the 100.
Yes.
Matching his PR after 100 days of training, that's nothing. Basically like 3 months, a quarter of a year roughly. But man, just knowing that you're going into that.
It's the hardest training that there is.
I just have so much respect for it.
But for all those people though in the comments that were like begging us on to keep going, special F you, because I did not want to do this.
A lot of people are saying, of course, Big Brother wants to stop doing the event that he lost.
Exactly. Why would I want to keep doing something I'm not good at? Sacrificed the bottom of my foot.
That's team socks. It's good to push yourself like that, but it's not always fun. It feels great being done with it, but man, just knowing that you're going into that.
It's the hardest training that there is.
I just have so much respect for it. Yeah, I mean, like in most sports, you know, you're just not in pain like that. You know, basketball, football, like occasionally you get in pain, like you're pushing yourself, it's hard, but you know going into every single race that you're just gonna be in pain.
Yeah, like I literally lost sleep knowing this was like a week ago, this was coming up, because I knew, I was like, this is just gonna suck.
Yeah,
like
you texted me.
That feeling in the third lap where you're like, cool, 2 more. So what would be, we'll have to think about it, but it would be like, is there something we could try to get good at, PR, and then another 100 days to see how much better we get, something along those lines? Planking, dude. Anything that has to do with endurance suffering, count me out. I think, honestly, I would love to do like a football combine. That would be really fun.
What does this mean? Well, it means I'm more athletic than I have ever been. When I hit 235 in bench, which I narrowly missed here, I hadn't run or sprinted in over a year. It was during COVID. When I hit my vertical PR, which I'm not far off of, I was about 15 pounds lighter and not nearly as strong. I also didn't have the same endurance. My DEXA scan showed that I lost over 2% in body fat, and I really didn't feel like I dieted in these last 70 days. I ate fairly normal and had some beers when I felt like it. So, should we do another challenge? Let me know. Either way, thank you for all the kind words along the way. My brother and I enjoyed them. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and take care.